Thank you for joining us. We're now recording. Thank you for joining us. It's 5th of July 2023, and I'm really excited to be here with everyone. I picked a card today for our focus, and it was a Power Animal Oracle card. It was the Stephen Farmer deck, who used to be married to Doreen Virtue, I believe. Anyway, the card that I chose was Hawk, and the key word is focus. Choose your priorities and eliminate all distractions. I think that's a good message for us at any time. So in manifestation, I think focus is the key, right? And with all things in life, when we focus, we can achieve whatever we want. So if it's good with you, Melanie, I'm going to ask you to go first. Are you happy to do that?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay, fantastic. Great. Well, over to you then.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Alexis. I picked a card myself, and for all of us. And the card is from the Louise Hay Power Deck. And it's Divine Wisdom Guides Me. I am guided throughout this day in making the right choices. Divine intelligence continuously guides me in the realization of my goals. I am safe. Mm-hmm. And I love that because Louise is such a legacy of all that is powerful and wonderful. And she always took the high road, no matter what. And I had the pleasure and honor to spend quite a few years with her, first as a friend, and then working with her as a friend and colleague. And I saw many, many things about her. And one of the things that she did was that she invited me to learn face reading. And it was really great because she said, come with me. I want to learn about face reading. And so we went. And as a child, I used to study with Marcel Marceau, meaning I would see his particular acts and so forth. And then I would go home and do them. And I got to the point where I was invited to universities and so forth and high schools and things to do mime. So I just love the face and actions and movements. So when she invited me, I was just absolutely thrilled. And what she found out was that she has what we call bossy women cheekbones. Which is someone that has leadership qualities. In other ways, people might say, like a but she had these bossy women cheekbones. And what I learned so much from that is that we have qualities and gifts and talents and superpowers, actually, Alexis, that we sometimes don't know, because when we look in the mirror, oftentimes we see things that we don't like, rather than loving ourselves and loving the power and the qualities that we have. So I was looking at your face, and what I saw is that you have tremendous power about yourself. I mean, inherent divine sacred power. And it comes through your eyebrows. And it actually frames the face, and eyebrows show a lot about courage and tenacity and the ability to connect with people. So as I was reading your face, I saw that beautiful ability that you have, and that strength of character, and such a great heart. The shape of your face is almost like the moon, the Luna, the sensitive one. So coupled with the power that you have, along with the sensitive, tender emotional side, you're a great combination. So what I do is I help people uncover their superpowers through face reading that I learned with Louise Hay, as well as helping people to attract into themselves the love of their life. And how I did that was basically, I was looking, what's that song? Looking for love in all the wrong places or whatever like that. And I was looking out there, you know, the websites and all that. And I decided this is not working for me. And the only thing that would work for me is if I went within. And that's the only place that we all have that really is the divine portable paradise. And I said, well, if I'm going to have the love of my life, my soulmate, my spiritual partner, then I better get to going within and finding out and really, truly designing this person, basically, designing the energy that I am and attracting him. So I did that process. And 6 months later, I met the love of my life. And my birthday's November 8th. His birthday's November 9th. And I wanted somebody that we had our own little language together and our own little, and we have that. And we are on this spiritual path that we're inseparable spirits, although we have our very much distinctly different lives. He's an engineer and I'm an intuitive. So that's kind of a real interesting kind of combination. But I just want people to know that you're not alone, that there's always the spirit, the sacred sense of who you are is within you. And that all one needs to do is really go within, get clear, and you can have the love that you, I don't want to say so much deserve, because that means that some people don't deserve, but the love that is meant for you to have, and to have fun and to enjoy and to walk through life and all its joys and trials and challenges together, and know that that you are loved and that divine wisdom guides me in all my ways. So thank you so much for having me, and I appreciate it. And if anybody has any questions, or I'm so happy to be with you all today.
Thank you for your beautiful face reading for me. And you know, my name means power, by the way.
Yes, of course, of course. Yeah. And then the symbol behind you, I believe, is the flower of life.
That's right.
And that's the symbol that is in Dendera, the temple in Egypt. Yes, it's there, and I'm going to be going there in November, so I will take a picture of it in the temple and send it to you.
Please do, and post it as well.
Yes.
You've written a book, right? Would you just quickly tell us about that?
Yes, absolutely. So I wrote a book, and it's for children, but children of all ages. It's you can see it here. It's called I Am Light, I Am Bright, and it's a story about a star that lost her way and was brought in by the cosmos, the star of the cosmos, to learn the star way. And it's really autobiographical for me. And it's the first, I believe, story for children to learn about affirmations. Because I know with Louise, she was kind of like the mother of affirmations. And so I created this book to help kids of all ages, all of us, to learn that I am light, I am bright, I guide travelers home at night, I glow, I glow. That's what stars do. That's what stars do. And we're all stars because we all help other people find their way. You do through your podcast here, and many of your members help other people. So it's a wonderful, it's a coloring book too. So you can color it. Beautiful. And what I loved about it so much is that The person who illustrated it is on the autism spectrum.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and a fabulous artist. And I was working with her actually as a counselor, and she came to me and she said, you know, I just don't want to do my art anymore. And she was really depressed. And I said, Sarah, you've got something really special here. What do you think about, I've got this story, and you can take a look at it and see what you think. And if you like it, would you consider illustrating it? And she said, sure. And so she did. And she illustrated it. And now it's really popular. And it's on Amazon. So
okay.
It's on Amazon.
What's your website so people can, connect?
Absolutely. So my website is Melanie Lococo, MELANIELOCOCO.com.
MelanieLococo.com. Fantastic.
Yeah.
And I really hope that you'll come back and do a main guest segment, maybe early next year, or
sure.
You know, whenever you have time.
I'd be delighted to.
And please know that you're really welcome to come on any segment in the future, and you're always welcome to, you know, to do a 10-minute segment whenever you like.
Okay.
Thank you for being here. Does anybody have any questions for Melanie before I move to Paul for his Sacred Tree segment? Anna Stone, welcome. Hi. Thanks for joining us. Do you want to just quickly introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, I'm Anna Stone, and I read tarot cards. I don't know why I'm so weird today. Sorry, guys. Nice to see you all, and I hope everybody's doing well. I'm almost done with my program, so in consciousness studies. So I'm doing research there. So I'm
awesome.
Excited today.
And you're a teacher of metaphysics in.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, I am. I just got actually a new job teaching at City College, at LA City College. So yes, teaching philosophy.
Great to have you here. Thank you for joining us. Melanie, thank you for that beautiful segment that you shared with us. There was so much there. Really hope that you will come back, and great to have you here. Paul is going to talk about the sacred power and magic of trees, right? And particularly one bush or tree in particular. Go ahead.
Yes. So today I'm going to present holly, or tinye, as it's known in Gaelic, and this is the symbol from this. I'm bringing out an oracle deck today. It's my own. So that's that. Anyway, so holly, interesting month. So in the Celtic kind of tradition, so obviously in America you have the Farmer's Almanac, and it's based on obviously the Native American tradition. So you have the buck moon, but in the Celtic tradition, this month is known as claiming moon, or often known as mead moon. And it's all about reclaiming or claiming aspects of ourselves that perhaps lost, or perhaps from an initiation point of view, claiming a new aspect of yourself, like a new title, perhaps a new degree of initiation. And July forms a kind of unique combination of different energies coming in all at once, like most months. But we have the oak moon up until the 7th of, because obviously there's the Celtic lunar tree calendar, which is like an astrological system. And during July, we have oak up until the 7th of July, and then holly steps in. And interestingly, the word for holly, tenye, often translates as ingot, and it was used in ancient times as the fire for blacksmiths, because it burns harder and burns faster and brighter than any other leaf. Now, how is that relevant to us? Holly has many magical uses, but for today, we're going to focus on the aspect that's to do with spiritual illumination, the internal spiritual fire. Now, for many people, they kind of consider there are 5 elements. So it's like earth, air, fire, water, and spirit. But true to tradition, in the Celtic way, there are actually only three elements, which is earth, air, and water. Fire actually is the spirit. It isn't an element, it's a separate force, it's the life force. And to the Druids, they saw the spirit as residing in the skull, but its birthplace was in the abdomen, in the solar plexus, the seat of our internal fire. So I'm going to lead you through a little meditation to feed the internal fire within you, to draw forth the spiritual illumination that lives within your body, to burn through perhaps any blocks that might be within your body. You can use this energy to claim or to reclaim anything about yourself. So I'd invite you for the moment to close your eyes and breathe into the still center of your being. And as you breathe, become aware of a fire. Perhaps it starts as a flickering candle that sits just underneath your solar plexus. And as fire is fed through air, with each breath, you engulf the flame becomes bigger. You enliven it, you bring it to life. Turn that flickering flame into a roaring fire in the seat of your abdomen, the birthplace of your spirit. And as you breathe, breathe more energy into that fire and allow that fire to move through your body. Perhaps you're aware there's a block somewhere. Maybe it's in your head. Maybe it's in your heart. You know where it needs to go. Send that alchemical fire to burn away, to melt, like holly melts the snow when it's burned. And with each breath, grow the fire within. And think about something, an aspect of yourself perhaps you need to reclaim, a lost talent, a lost dream, or something new about yourself that you know is on the edge of your horizons, on the edge of your perceptions. Claim it. You use the fire within as an energy source to draw that to you, to claim that aspect. Just breathe and feed the fire. Feel the warmth within. And then finally, just let out one very long breath as you tense your whole body, encoding this new aspect of yourself into your energy system. And then when you're ready, you can open your eyes. And there you have it.
Beautiful. Thank you, Paul. That was gorgeous.
Thank you very much. I did figure out one thing I wanted to say as well. So before I finish. So on the 1st of August, we pagans celebrate Lunasa, where the green man sacrifices himself for the beginning of the harvest. And Canonis dies on the 1st of August. And where he spent 6 months as the Oak King and for the season of growth, as the 1st of August hits, he becomes the Holly King, where he travels to the underworld as the land dies, which again is that connection with this kind of process of moving from oak into holly and the lighting of the fires, because obviously we pagans love to light fires, we love to burn stuff. It's all about fire. Anyways, wanted to add that because I forgot to say it. Anyway, I'm glad you enjoyed. Thank you very much.
Before I hand it over to Carl, I just want to say something about holly in it with, you know, linking to what Paul has just shared with us. It inspired me to look up the Dr. Edward Bach flower remedy, holly, which I've used a lot. Not particularly that remedy, but the range of flower remedies. And I wanted to see what Dr. Edward Bach uses it for, what the energy of holly is in his flower remedies. And it says universal love, interestingly. So it helps us to connect with the energy of universal love, which I didn't know. So isn't that amazing that it's connected to our inner fire, and that we can, through the remedy, if we're not in a loving space, connect to that energy. So thank you for that amazing teaching, Paul. That was incredible. Okay, let's just take a breath, all of us together, as we go. Carl, I'm going to ask you please to now lead your main guest segment. I'm going to go silent for a little while, but I'm going to hand over to you. Just unmute, please. Thanks. Thank you again, Paul.
Gone quiet. So yes, my main segment this evening is going to be about trance mediumship. So I'm going to talk a little bit about it, but then I'm going to do it so that you can all see it, and also have some communication from my guide. And if there's time in permitting, maybe even you get to ask him a few questions. So what is trance mediumship? It's where we connect with spirit guides through, in my mind, it's through all the chakra centers of the body. So we have in mediumship where people are picking up impressions from spirit beings who are around them, but with trance mediumship, the guide has to lower their energy down to a vibration that can merge with my physical body, and I have to raise or expand my consciousness so that my energy body is of the right frequency of vibration for us to merge. So generally it means there's like different levels of how they connect with physical human beings, and if they connect through all the chakras, then there's kind of a full embodiment, you could say, of the spirit guide in that person. So they would have the ability to make me stand up, move around, gesture, open my eyes. So it's more than just a mind level connection, it's actually a full body connection. And I find it particularly powerful when doing trance healing, because then I don't know, it's the vibration of the energy that they bring through is maybe perhaps more tangible to the client. I know, or maybe it's one of those things that there's like, it's hard to understand because it's so complicated and so easy at the same time. Anyway, I'm not very good at talking about it, so I'll demonstrate instead. My main guide is Katarang. He will introduce himself when he comes through. I've been a trance medium now for, about 25 or more years. I trained in London at the College of Psychic Studies with Robin Winbow. I did work there for a while as a junior medium, giving sittings to the public. And I've done a few public demonstrations. And it doesn't take very long. I'm open to any questions before or afterwards, whichever people prefer.
Can I ask you a very quick question? Yeah. Is it okay if when the time is approaching the last 2 minutes, if I say that, or I'll send a message in the chat? Which one would you prefer?
My eyes will be closed, so I won't see the chat. You can see it, and he probably even like
He'll feel it.
He'll know. He's very good at timekeeping, actually.
Yes. Okay. I trust in the universal forces. All right. I'm going to go quiet again.
Yeah. And so yeah, it only takes a couple of moments because he and I have been working together for so many years. And sometimes depending on the work involved in a particular session with the client or whatever, or with the group, there might be other spirit beings that might come through. But today I'm sure it'll be Catalan. So it'll be a demonstration for you all, and I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you're not freaked out by it. You should notice that I change, like my gestures and my facial expressions change, and my voice probably will also change. It is a form of possession after all, but it's the one where we're agreed partners in that, and he has my permission to do so. Okay, so just give me a moment. Okay. Katarang here. So we understand that this is a group to explore many aspects of spirituality and many aspects of how they can introduce forms of spirituality into their daily lives and make it, how you say, beneficial for the interaction in their physical world. Well, this is something that we spirit beings also have a lot to offer. We have, in many cases, both the experience of living in the physical world in previous lifetimes, and also we have learned much through our journeys how we have to develop the spiritual qualities within ourselves, how we have to overcome some of the, how shall we say, the challenges of the physical world, and how we incorporate all of that understanding into our spiritual evolution. And here we are now in spirit, offering all of this knowledge and wisdom to share with you. We are not super elevated spiritual beings all the time, though there are many ascended masters who can also come and offer guidance in this way. But more often than not, your spiritual guide who is working to promote understanding, philosophy, healing, and share his knowledge and wisdom, we are like, you might say, the headmasters of the school. We have much knowledge, but we are not superhuman beings. We are flawed, and we are also on our own spiritual journeys. But we have much understanding, many lifetimes where we have been through the mill, as you say, and we have this insight that we can share with you. So for today's little session, we just want to demonstrate how we connect with the physical channel. We are doing this through all the energy centers of his body. We have, how you say, much training we also need to do on our side to control our energy body. We have to, or you might say, condense it, bring it together, make it more solid in form in a way so that we can reduce the frequency down to a level that is sufficient to merge with the energy body of the channel. Now, this is something that takes some learning for both the spirit guide and also for the channel. Because, how would we explain this? First, you have to cast aside all doubt about the process, and you have to be able to read the frequencies of these energy centers so that you can adjust it as you are making the connection. this is something we have not actually spoken about before with this channel, so it is something new for him too. We are constantly fine-tuning the connection through all the energy centers in the body, depending on the level of embodiment, you might say, that we wish to use on that occasion. Generally, because it enables us to share our healing energies more tangibly with the audience, shall we say, we prefer to bring the energy as far down into the root chakra as possible. This is a very solid base for working as a trance medium, and it is also very grounding for the channel and helps to alleviate, shall we say, any overpressure of spiritual energy, like the earth wire in the electrical circuit. So this is important. And it is important for us to be able to communicate and connect with you through the heart chakra. So we have to ensure that we are also connected here in his heart chakra, so we can make a connection with you in the physical world. There are some things that are better experienced through the slower vibration, shall we say, of the physical world. And also, many times, it can be more convincing for the audience when they have some physical and auditory proof where they can see and sense and hear that something new, something different is taking place. So what happens when we connect? It is like he allows me to enter into his energetic space, and I am filling his aura with my aura. So we are combining, we are working as one. And to do this, we must have, of course, an agreement. An agreement, in this case, ours that goes back many lifetimes. We have done this before in other lifetimes. We have a contract that goes back many, many, many lifetimes. And we are happy to work together. And then also, we come in through the back of the neck. This is where our energy connection is most strongly felt. And then we engage and learn how to use the physical body of the medium. In many cases, it can take quite a while to be able to adjust to the vocal mechanism of the medium. And this is why much training is required, because the challenge of allowing other energies to manipulate the voice box and manipulate all the sensory organs of the body also is quite difficult in the beginning. But that is very, very simple introduction, because we know we do not want to take up too much of your time. So the benefits for you if you are coming to see a trance medium, first of all, we can give you spiritual insight through our own experience. And that is one where we could say is a shared experience, because in most cases, we too have been living and, as I said before, going through many lifetimes in the earth plane. We can also communicate in some cases with your guides and transmit messages from them to you, or participate in healing of deep-seated energy blockages within your physical body, within your energy body, because we work in a different modality to your traditional spiritual healing. Our methods are, I don't know how quite to say, but we have different spiritual energetic tools at our disposal, you might say. So we can perform certain extractions of unwanted energetic elements with ease. And yes, I think that is all I wish to share, because I want to give you the opportunity to ask some questions. I am sure that the host today, Mr. Alexis, he can facilitate any question people might have through the raising of a hand or something, and we will gladly answer to the best of our ability for the remaining 7 minutes.
Please raise your hands if you want a question, or just pop in if you would like. Anna Stone.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. Hello. How do you know that that's what's happening? Because I feel like that happens sometimes to me, that I get I don't remember what I said during readings, and then
so this is different. This is where you are having inspirational connection, and so it is happening at a mental level, and it is good because you are losing, shall you say, the grip that you have of your conscious mind, and you are allowing your thoughts to wander, and so you are more intuitively open to receive the inspirational thoughts from spirit beings around you. Maybe your guide, maybe also picking up psychic messages from those to whom you are reading. So it is more of a mind level connection in this case.
How do you make an agreement? Like, is it a past life thing only, or can you do it current life?
Current, let's see. So for sure, if you have a firm intention, you can express that in spirit, and the signal will go out. Whether or not you would have the opportunity to work with someone in this lifetime or wait to another lifetime, it depends. But generally, the, shall we say, the desire to make an agreement is an indication of one that has already been formed in past lives. And so you might be surprised to find that there is a spirit guide already sitting in the wings, waiting for this invitation to start the process. Because it does require a certain amount of commitment and a certain amount of energetic training before the contact can be made. And even then, the, shall we say, apprenticeship process can be a little bit disheartening, because it can take some long time before good results are arrived at.
Thank you so
I
much.
would encourage you to reach out and explore this. I think you have the calling.
Thank you so much.
I have a question. Have you always been in non-physical?
No. I used to live here in this earth plane also, many hundreds of years ago. And I live in the area that you call now Tibet. It was up high in the mountains, very poor lifestyle. But we had much more time to devote to spiritual teaching and spiritual training. But for many lifetimes now, I have chosen to remain in spirit and offer my services in this way to encourage those who are currently, shall we say, a little confused in the physical world to seek different answers to the ones that they read about in books or get through other normal media. We are here to offer insight, to offer love, support, guidance, wisdom. But I know it is not something that people come across very often, but we are here nonetheless for those who seek us out.
Thank you very much. Paul, you have a question.
Yeah, sure. I'm intrigued. Obviously, the trance experience that Carl is undergoing, how is that different from the trance experience from like someone like myself when we do shamanic journeys? Is it similar? Is his spirit elsewhere, or is it just kind of quiet? I'm really intrigued.
So it is a similar process, but in this case, rather than, shall we say, how shall we say, he is more on the sidelines than in the journeying process, where you are perhaps equal partners, you are perhaps the one who is in charge and following the light of the guide, receiving their thought impulses as to which direction and such that you should go. And they are guiding you for sure. They are guiding you. They are taking you with you. But you're also still consciously involved to some extent. Here, his role is to remain consciously not involved, and he is back there somewhere listening. He has awareness through his ears of what is being said, but otherwise he has tuned out his job. He has tuned out, maybe spirit somewhere, I don't know. The process very similar, but I think it is fair to say in this case the channel is more tuned out and more on the sidelines.
Awesome. Thank you very much for that. That's really interesting. Thank you.
Thank you. I have another question, if I may. Sorry, let me start again. If somebody wants to become a channel or a medium, how can you tell or be safe against lower frequency energies coming in?
So very, very, very important question. It is important that you train with someone who is experienced and who has the ability and the spiritual, shall we say, partnership to create a protective environment for the student. Now, what we cannot ensure is that when the student goes off and does their own thing, we are not always there to offer our protection. But that is why it's important that they learn in person from someone who has achieved a level of mastery and can provide a safe environment and show the way to connect safely, show the way to focus the intent for the connection with your guide so that it process. But we will also caution that there can be lapses of security on the channel when they are training. And this depends on their own thought processes. For example, this channel can explain to you how he has often been approached by lower frequency energies who have wanted to release some emotional distress, shall we say, through his ability. And he has had to be quite strong-minded in keeping them at bay. So it is not something we would advise anyone to learn as they do now online. It should be through a strong partnership with a teacher who has the ability to provide that protection during the learning phase and to provide also the remedies should the student unwittingly connect with lower frequencies. But in the beginning, there is a risk. We must be honest about it. There is a risk because you are learning to open up. You are learning to step aside and invite other beings in. And if you are not clear in your intent, clear in your mind as to the boundaries you are providing and erecting, anyone could come.
Thank you. Anybody else have any more questions? Luke.
Sure. Hello, my name's Luke. It's a pleasure to be in your presence. I'm kind of, yeah, thank you. I'm kind of curious as to, do you know other spiritual entities? Like, I've been to a few trance mediums before. I'm just kind of wondering if there's sort of a network on the other side. Do you come across other people?
It's an interesting question.
Or is it more of a collaborative? It's not an I, but it's a we.
So in my case, I am an I. I am one.
Okay.
We know this channel also works with others that are many, and they have a different purpose as to their working. And yes, in spirit, we are many, but we have not, I have not the ability to communicate with many spiritual beings. I have my own, shall we say, circle of enlightened souls, but none of them are also doing this work. So I am not in a network, shall we say, of trance medium guides, but I can, through my masters, through my teachers, reach out to others if I so need, but it has not been something that has become of any need in my work with my channel.
I have a question. Oh, thank you. I have a question. Would like to find out, how do you do your healing?
So, like most spiritual healing, it involves the transmission or the manipulation of energies. However, what we find is that where some of those energies are of a low vibration and very deeply ingrained in the energetic body of the physical person, there sometimes needs to be an equally low and powerful force from spirit to bring out and extract. And this is where, through our embodiment, we can bring a different frequency, a more like a low hum, shall we say, than a high-pitched whistle. So our healing becomes on a low vibration. And it means we can connect and engage with these dense, heavy matters and latch onto them so that we can begin to remove them. It is a difficult process, one that requires quite a significant amount of, shall we say, thermal energy from the channel. It becomes very hot.
Thank you.
Does anybody have any further questions? If not, then I have one further question.
Okay, one more, then we must go, I guess.
Okay. Anybody? If not, then I will ask. Oh, yes, Bonnie has a question.
We admire your artwork through our channel's eyes.
Unmute, Bonnie. Bonnie, unmute.
Okay, am I unmuted? Okay.
Yeah.
I have totally enjoyed hearing you. It's absolutely fabulous. I am one of these people who enjoy low vibrations. And okay, because to me, high vibration is like a soprano singer that gets, so I appreciate the low. My question has to do with I channel, or not channel, but I communicate with the Irma. Are you familiar with the Irma?
Irma, no.
Okay, well, they're extraterrestrial beings. And I don't know if you connect with extraterrestrial or your thoughts.
We have some experience of working with, as we call them, star beings. Yes.
Okay.
And they assist us sometimes in different forms of healing. And sometimes they work through this channel to inform of other information. So in this regard, yes, we have some experience. We are not, shall we say, frequently traveling to their universes, but we have visited in spirit in 1 or 2 occasions to their star planets. We have been to the Orion system.
Yes, that's it. Thank you. That's awesome.
Thank you. My final question to you is, in the non-physical, do you have a similar body to us on Earth?
Interesting question. Because also I know in my work as a guide for this channel, I take on the form of my last remembered physical body. But in spirit, no, we have a light body, you might say, a light body. And yes, there are many different frequencies of light. So these light bodies can take very different forms. Some might even appear to be similar to the physical body because our way of perceiving energy and light is different to how you perceive it in your vibration. So for us, we see some of these bodies as you would see a physical body, and others we see as more translucent or shimmering, and some even very, very iridescent light. But it really depends on the vibration of your being and the levels to which you can increase or decrease this vibration. And that depends on your spiritual training and evolution. But when working through trance mediums, most often we remember the energetic configuration we used in our own lives as we find this most conducive as a way by remembering how to work and manipulate a physical body.
We're very grateful to you for visiting us today. Thank you. And we
It is our honor. We are blessed also by the interest that so many are now beginning to share in both spiritual matters and the evolution of the planet up into the next level of vibration. And we thank you, all of you, for your contribution in this regard. It is most important for the evolution of the planet and also all of the energetic beings that share this space with her. Thank you, thank you.
We hope you will return again and visit us. Thank you so much. Are you well, Carl?
Yep, so hot.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for that demonstration of mediumship. It was absolutely incredible. Thank you to your guide as well. Could you please tell us once again your guide's name? You've interestingly frozen, and we can't see you or hear you. But if your connection reestablishes, then please interrupt. Oh, that's interesting. We've lost Carl for a moment. We've lost his connection. How interesting. Really fascinating. Wow, that was amazing. Well, as we transition into the next segment, I would like to ask you, Anna Pavlakis, to do your 8-minute segment. Before you do, I'm going to share a Abraham card. I'm no stranger to channeling. I was a member of the Ethereal Society. I've never channeled myself other than songwriting, which is a type of channeling, I think. Oh, here's Carl returning to us. Amazing that you returned to us, Carl. Very interesting. Could you tell us the name of your guide, please?
Kataran.
Kataran. That was
Yeah,
fascinating. Thank
yeah,
you so much. It was
you're
incredible.
welcome.
And we hope that you'll come back and do it again.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime.
Okay. Well, I'm going to move on just because of time, but really appreciate what you shared with us. Thank you so much. As I was saying, I'm going to very, very quickly just share this card that I chose from the Abraham Law of Attraction cards from Esther and Jerry Hicks. And the card says, "My inner being guides me through my emotions. While you are indeed a wondrous physical creator, you exist simultaneously in another dimension. There is a part of you, your inner being, that exists in this physical body, and your guiding emotions are your physical indication of your relationship with your inner being. Remember that we are multidimensional beings and that we have a vortex that we can connect with at any point, and that there are so many other versions of ourselves, and we are our thoughts. So remember, we are creating through our thoughts and our energy vibrations. So let's remember what vibration we're sending out. Let's remember what kind of thoughts that we're having, and that we have the ability to change our thoughts and change our vibration. Okay, so Anna Pavlakis, please share your thoughts and insights with us.
Okay, well, first, I just have
Unmute,
to say,
please.
I
There you go.
did.
Thank you.
Yeah. My internet connection seems to be a little unstable tonight. I don't know. Anyway, first I have to say that I've had the pleasure of being with Catalan in person, and I just adore him, and I'm so grateful for what he shares with us, that wisdom, and to Carl for bringing him through. So for my segment today, I wanted to continue what I started a few weeks ago, where I've been talking about the rays, okay, the 7 rays. Well, there are more rays, but focusing on the 7 ones, because they're very useful tools for spiritual growth. So I think with each segment, unless something else comes up, I'm going to do a different ray and just a small exploration of each one. A lot of people confuse the rays and the chakras. They're not the same, but there is a connection between the rays and the chakras. Okay, but they're different things. And so understanding the rays, I said this in an earlier sacred segments, it's about understanding the way certain archetypal energies work through us and are a part of us, and they help us understand our psychology a lot better. So they are a very important tool. So I want to explore today the first ray a little bit, which is the ray of will and power. So this ray is the ray of drive, power, will. It's a very, very, very forceful ray. It's the most forceful. And so if you think of like vitality, initiative, that's kind of thrusting energy, that is the energy of the first ray. And it has the energy of breaking down old structures, breaking down old things to power through it and make way for new things to come through. So super, super dynamic, and not surprisingly, the color of this ray is red. Okay. And if you people can you are on certain rays. Okay. So people who are embodying or have the energy of the first ray very strongly in them have a very, very strong personal power. Okay. But it could be used for good or evil. Okay. And I'll give you some examples in a bit of who. So first ray people are people who are at the forefront of whatever it is they do. Okay. They're the leaders. It's very much a leadership thing. So they're the head of their whatever their profession is. And if they are not tempered by the ray of love and wisdom, they can actually be quite cruel. Okay, so think of certain dictators, power-hungry dictators, and so on. They are having the negative aspect, because every ray has a positive aspect and a negative aspect. Okay, so because there's nothing that's purely positive or negative in this. If it's someone who writes, a writer, think of Walt Whitman. Very, if you know his poetry, very, very powerful. Boom, you know, that kind of energy. Martin Luther, not Martin Luther King, but Martin Luther is another one who was on the first ray. So, you know, he just broke down the structure of the Catholic Church and also wrote those powerful, whatever, I don't know much about religion, but he wrote something and nailed it on the church and changed the world. So you could also think of Napoleon, Winston Churchill, General Patton, MacArthur, Indira Gandhi, and Christopher Columbus. They were on the first ray. And so you can think of anyone who really has that. And it's also associated a bit with the energy of the Aries astrological sign, which is that and warlike, right? It is the energy of war. So when you tune into it and invoke it, that's why it's very important to also work with the energy of the second ray, which is love and wisdom, to balance it out. If you have been through some kind of traumatic event or anything that has really dragged you down and you really need to pull yourself up from it, you can call in the first ray. It has that power to yank you up out of the darkest depths of a traumatic response, of depression, of, you know. So if you ever feel that you are in that kind of a situation, you can call on the first ray and ask it to, you know, tune into it and use it to pull yourself up from it. So that's the thing about the rays. You can use it for your own personal growth and spiritual evolution. Okay, you can use it for that. You don't normally need a lot of first ray. So if you want to invoke it to give yourself a push for something that's not, you know, huge, like a traumatic event, just call it in for a little bit. And you could even use it by wearing the color red. Like if you need to go in and be powerful and dynamic in a meeting or something, you can wear red underwear, for example.
2 minutes left, Anna.
Okay. So the negative aspect I mentioned a little bit. So wars on the planet, those are negative aspects of it. So it is important to use it with discretion. Of the body of a person whose first ray is very tall and strong, okay? Maybe big boned even. And so think of like military, you know, Marines and all of that. That's first ray energy. So some other famous first ray people would be Hercules. I mean, I think he was real. Mao Zedong, he was first ray, maybe not in a good way. Abraham Lincoln is another one. So strength, courage, drive, steadfastness, but also truthfulness. It's a very truthful ray. So it's like no BS. And I kind of think New York City is a very first ray. I'm from there. And to me, it's got a lot of first ray energy that I could do it. I've got the drive. I'm going to, you know, city that never sleeps. So, you know, it's a huge, I've said this before, this is a huge field of study, but just wanted to give you a little bit of information about it so that you can start to maybe observe it in your world and in yourself, okay? And probably for the next sacred segments, I'll be talking about the second ray. So I hope this was helpful, and I don't know if anybody has a question, and if you would like to ask me any questions, I'll put my my contact information in the chat. Okay.
That was awesome. Thank you so much. Really powerful information.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry, did somebody say something? Or you just said thank you? Yeah. Thank you. Okay, Bonnie, I'm going to ask you to go next, if that's cool with you.
I got it. Okay, so I'll go as quickly as possible. I'm going to give you a little nursing lesson real quickly. These are inside a vein, artery, arterial, capillaries. This is inside. So I'm talking about diabetes mellitus type 2. Number 1, we throw out because that's a total different ball game. We're talking about blood sugar. And so the herb today we're going to jump on is one that really helps out those of us who suffer with blood sugars. And if you don't, and you're at a young age, then with the type 2 diabetes, overweight conditions, hereditary, the damage to the pancreas, the beta cells, and that would be some kind of a tumor or infection or something that damaged it, and you can get into diabetes. So our focus today is on the inside of the cell and what is happening. Now, this big, huge thing that I drew here is a glucose molecule. And that glucose molecule went down inside that vein and got into that capillary or those arterioles, and it got stuck. Okay. And when it gets stuck, the feet are down here. This is the top, going down to the feet or the hands or the eyes or the heart or the liver. What happens? When it gets stuck, it causes the nerves, it causes it to die. It causes the capillaries or the arterioles to die. And when that dies, we get into what's called necrosis, and you end up losing your eyesight or your liver or your kidneys or your feet or your, and amputations occur. So I know this isn't the fun part of the meeting, but we're talking about herbs here. And so I knew I only had a few minutes. So I came across the one that I think is probably the best. And honestly, I have a pantry full of it and I never use it. And today, after reading about it, I thought, doggone it, I'm going to start using it because it's so good. And it is berberine. Have we all heard about it? Berberine. And berberine is, okay, cancer does not like alkaline. Am I saying, yeah, that's right, alkalosis. Cancer hates that. So berberine is filled, it's an alkalinic herb, okay? So cancer hates berberine. And where do we find berberine? It's found basically in 4 to 7 herbs that are most important. And doggone it, I wrote them down and I've lost it, but I will put it into the section where we're talking about this online. But it has to do with the 4 herbs. We take it substantially. And we take, I think, 5,000 up to 5,000 milligrams a day for those of us who have pre-diabetes conditions or diabetics. And it doesn't cause any liver damage, okay? It does, pregnant women can take it. So when I complained online a couple of weeks ago because my doctor had put me on a medication for pre-diabetic condition. And so it sat on my shelf for 2 weeks and I'm a nurse. And I thought, I don't like that. And so I kept looking at it and I looked it up. And doggone, it says, if you've ever had a heart attack, don't take this. Well, I've had a heart attack. So if you've had any heart conditions, don't take this. So I sent her a message back and I'd say, listen, I've had a heart attack, and the number one side effect says, do not take if you've ever had a heart attack. Well, a lot of these medications that they're selling us have side effects. Make sure that you look up the side effects to everything and question your doctor. You know, go back to them and say, hey, I understand that berberine is a pretty good herb. It contains 4 to 7 herbs. Okay, and what do you think about that? Don't ever tell your doctor you got to do this. Okay, that nothing makes them more angry for you to go back and say, yeah, but so you want to go back and say, hey, what do you think about berberine? How about let's work with that? And I promise to take it. And one of the positive side effects of berberine is weight loss. And that's why today I picked it up and said, I'm going to take that. It causes weight loss. I'm sorry, I'm over. Okay.
No, 2 minutes. You got 2 minutes.
Okay. Okay. So that's really about it. We listed some Gurmar. I have no idea what it is. Basil leaf, green tea, berries, and Rinji. Probably, if you really want to get into this, probably the best method to follow is the Ayurvedic way of handling blood sugar. But for right now, I just wanted to bring to you berberine if you haven't heard of it. And I'm going to start taking it, and we'll have another look at this.
Could you please repeat what you said? You said mesharine.
Okay. It's MESHASHRINGHI. Mesharinji. In Sanskrit.
Okay.
And so the Ayurvedic and the Chinese medicine, they're really on top of this stuff. And if we would learn how to follow this, I mean, seriously, I mean, I've had this stuff in my pantry and I should have been taking it all along. And maybe she wouldn't have said, well, you need to take this diabetic, ma'am. And I'm sorry, I have a hard time taking even herbal capsules because I just don't like to take handfuls of medications. I don't know about you, but anyway, I wanted to say something about cinnamon. And yes, cinnamon is excellent. But the cinnamon that we buy at the store is a lot less milligrams than the actual cinnamon capsules that you're going to buy. So if you're going to treat pre-diabetic conditions with cinnamon, use the capsules that you buy at the health food store. And that wraps it up.
Bonnie, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I did make a list of natural herbs and spices, and like you, I had something in my store cupboard for a very long time and did not use it, and that is fenugreek. And like 2 weeks before that, the bottle broke and all of the capsules went everywhere and I threw them away. But I'm going to run through the list in 10 seconds, and here they are. And some of these have been posted on the Sacred Segments Facebook page, and they are cinnamon, Kerala juice, or Karela juice, also known as bitter melon or bitter gourd. These are Ayurvedic herbs, some of them. Fenugreek, as I mentioned, something called Gurmar, which I've never heard of. Bitter melon, I've mentioned. Ginger, oregano, which is an incredible essential oil, antiviral, anti-everything. Clove, fennel flower, cinnamon, aloe vera, ginseng, and lastly, neem. I've not heard of berberine. Thank you so much, Bonnie.
You're welcome.
Do you want to share your art piece that you've been working on before I ask
Sure.
Anna Stone to do the segment for us?
Oh,
Wow.
the one, I mean, this is the one for the class that I'm doing.
Yeah. And this is your near-death experience, right?
Yeah. Well, yes, and yes.
Awesome. Well, please keep sharing on Sacred Segments.
Okay.
Great to have
I
you.
will.
Turmeric also, Paul wrote. Thank you, Paul. Awesome. Anna Stone, would you like to share your insights? And I just want to say before you do, Chris, thank you so much for being so patient. I know that you're going last with your meditation. Appreciate you all. Thank you. Anna Stone, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, so mine, so my next research that I'm doing is about inner monologue, right? So yeah, I didn't know that it was not a thing that everybody had a voice in their head that they talk to themselves, you know? Like I thought everybody did that because I do it all the time, all day long, every day. So like, let me just add, like, does anyone here not have an inner monologue at all? Like, does anyone not talk to themselves in their head? Everyone does have one? Yes? Like, okay, I was checking. Okay, so because this is crazy to me, it really blew my mind when I found this out. And so I started doing research on it. Turns out like we literally just started studying it in 2015. And so now it used to just be like people lack the ability to have like visual imagery, like, you know, like I have a hard time sometimes doing a guided meditation, but I definitely can think in my mind's eye about things and see them, right? You know, but there's a new one now called anauralia, which is the lack of imagination. And that quite literally means that people cannot visualize or have any kind of internal monologue with themselves, both of those things. So I'm like, that just blows my mind. Like, I don't understand what that means, but it was in 2015, it was 30 to 50% of people didn't have this, like didn't have the ability to talk to themselves or visualize. And now it's up to 50%. So that means that there's more and more people being born without this ability to internalize, you know, like reflect. I don't even know. I don't even know how to say this. So I'm just gonna tell you guys some research about it. So ideally, you know, an inner voice, what do we use it for? Like, I think, you know, spiritually, right? Like I just can't imagine not having one, because it helps you, you know, organize your thoughts and complete your tasks of the day, right? Like you can think about what you're doing. So the people that don't have it, they report that they are not stressed out about anything. Like they have no stress. And that makes sense, I guess. And also they don't have as many self-esteem issues either. And they also have no filter and say things that are offensive to people, like often because they don't think about what they're saying beforehand, right? So, but like the point is, it's like this weird thing with my research on, you know, trauma and psychic ability, how we found out that there's genetic differences between people that are psychic and people that are not. And that difference is an activation of a gene that makes you not psychic, right? So like the natural state would be psychic, but then it's like a mutation occurs. And I'm wondering if this is the same thing here, because it's like, are we moving to, it's making me wonder if we're moving towards a more, like, I don't even know how to say this, like less of a reflective society, like in that way, like more, I feel like it's like this NPC phenomenon where it's like, there's just people that just are here and they're not doing, you know, they're just like ancillary, like, I don't know, like extras in a movie. So this is just crazy to me. So we need our inner voice, ideally, for many reasons. Like it's tied to so much of our being, right? So it has to do with our psychological functioning across a wide range of domains within our psyche. So like working memory, memory rehearsal, prospective memory, language reading, planning and problem solving, self-regulation, and thinking and musical ability, right? So, and then also like auditory imagery in the form of inner speech is believed to play a key role in cognitive development, right? Like, I mean, and it's associated with areas of the brain like the inferior parietal lobe and the inferior frontal gyrus and the superior temporal cortex. So like these areas and these people are not as developed as those of us that have an inner voice. So it's fascinating to me, because as somebody that, you know, like gets in some random information, I don't even know, like, can people like this be psychic is my question. Like you can't be psychic if you don't have an inner voice, right? Like I'm so confused by this. So I just wanted to bring this to you guys because who else would be better to kind of talk about this than this group of people? Like, what do you guys think about, this is really just like a chance for me to get some answers, like if anyone has any, because it's driving me crazy. Like the more I'm researching it, the more I'm just completely dumbfounded. I don't understand it like at all. Like, does anyone have, what do you guys think?
I
Like,
have a question.
yes.
Michael. So I'm just wondering, is it not more of a kind of a learned ability? And I wonder, do Buddhist monks or people like the Dalai Lama, do they have the same kind of internal dialogue as the rest of us? I would imagine they have much less. And I would feel that my internal dialogue is much more under control, if that makes sense, than when I was like a teenager or whatever.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm just going to say we're going to run 7 minutes over time, and I hope that's okay with everyone, because I know that we're meant to finish in 1 minute. But if that's a problem, then please let me know now. Okay. All right, thank you. Go ahead, please finish. 2 minutes left before we move on.
Yeah. So I'm just, I know you mentioned that there was like, you could see difference in the development of the frontal cortex or whatever, but I'm not sure. To me, it's probably more of a cultural thing and a learned behavior that's happened because of the society we live in now, where people don't have to think about things so much.
Right.
Your imagination isn't stimulated because you're playing video games all the time. You're not reading books. You're not like exploring your mind.
You've just touched on something that I wanted to say as well, which is I think social media and being online is a massive influence in our internal dialogue and our focus and our concentration. I think that that's part to do with it, and you touched on it on video games.
Yeah,
right.
And
I didn't think of that.
Practicing as a Buddhist, you're trying to quieten your mind because you don't want to have be pulled aside by desires and blah 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 blah. So you're actually taking control of that internal dialogue and getting it under control, and it quietens down. And while I feel I have one, I don't have one that's out of control and going blah 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 blah, blah all the time.
Well, I think that's different. Like, yeah, that makes, but like, I think that these people don't have it at all. Like, I think mastering it is like, that's a feat in and of itself, right? Because it can be crazy when we're younger, right? Or even later. But yeah, that's a real big task. But like these people that don't have it at all, like they don't understand. Like our interview I read said this person went to a movie, they watched Forrest Gump, right? And like how it's narrated the whole time. And they were like telling their friend, like, this is stupid. Why is this person talking? And they're like, that's the main character narrating his story. Like, you don't do that. That's how it came about. Like how they realized Dr. So you don't, because I personally, when I wake up, I'm like, what am I wearing today? Like in my head, like thinking about what I'm going to do just randomly. And like, this is not a thing for these people. So I just think it's, but I think you're right. It has to do with the not using that muscle anymore, that imagination muscle, like reading. Yeah, that helps me a lot. Thanks, Carl.
I'm going to ask everybody that wants to contribute to this thought stream to please either post on the Sacred Segments Facebook page for Anna Stone or contact Anna through the Sacred Segments with their thoughts and ideas. Anna, thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to move on now because of time. Appreciate your insights, really interesting. Chris, thank you for being here. And I'm excited that you're going to do some meditation to close this segment. Thank you, everybody, for your contributions this evening. It's been awesome. I can't thank you enough. Chris, please take it away. And after this, when we finish, we will close.
Thank you very much. Interesting to lead a meditation here. I do it off pat. It's in the moment. So if you wish to close your eyes, please do so. And if your feet are firmly planted on the ground beneath you, that would be absolutely amazing. So just for a moment, just center yourself into your heart. Just bring all your awareness into your heart center and into your feet. And as our hearts have connected so deeply here this evening, there's that sense of belonging. As our feet carry us forward in life, we carry that belonging with us into the next step, into that next step of our day, our week, our year. And remember everything that we have learned here today, remembered and reconnected with through all dimensions of time and space. And if you have a mind to, just go to that one place where you usually hide away from the so-called everyday reality of life. That place that is sacred to you. And in that space, offer that space love. Offer the space kindness. Offer the space compassion. And take a moment just to say thank you from the depths of your spirit and the depths of your soul and the depths of your humanity. Say thank you to that space for all it brings to you each day. And sit for a moment in that space, in that sacred energy that belongs to you and you alone. And as you connect a little bit deeper, as you connected to each person here tonight, and their loved ones and loved ones beyond those as it ripples across all nations and peoples in this reality and beyond into all realms. Allow what needs to be healed within you to be healed right now. And just allow the sacredness of your own humanity to flood every cell and between every cell and atom in your body, in your auric field, in the energetic field that surrounds your aura, and beyond into all those that you work with in all realms, in all times, in all space. And again, anything that needs to be healed from this time in your experience or anywhere else, allow that to be healed now. And another small connection to a Celtic country, the country of dragons. Diolch o galon, diolch o galon, diolch o galon. Thank you from my heart. Thank you from my heart. Thank you from my heart. And in a moment, I'm going to count up to 7, as 7 is the human experience that we are having as spiritual beings. And with the number 7, we rejoin the group and step forward into the next part of our day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Taking the number 5, the path least traveled, your own unique journey through this experience, the one you come to share and to teach. Thank you. 6, 7, rejoin the group when you're ready.
Chris, thank you so much for your beautiful energy. Thank you for your presence. I could really feel your warmth, your love, and really glad that you found the school and hope that you can come back. And
Certainly will. Thank you.
And please not only do like a longer segment, but do a main segment in the future if you have time.
I will. Thank you.
Appreciate you all. I'm going to close this session tonight by asking you all to name one thing that you're grateful for. I will start and go around the group and also say goodbye as we do so. So I am grateful for food. Anna. My partner just placed a plate of food in front of me. Thank you. Anna.
Me,
Yes,
Anna.
you,
Okay, so
Anna Pavlakis.
it gets confusing.
It does.
I am grateful for beauty, the beauty all around me.
Thank you, Anna. Paul.
I'm grateful for my creativity, which surprises me all the time. Yeah, thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Paul. Chris.
I'm grateful for connecting with everybody here and learning some new things.
Beautiful. Me too. Thank you. Thank you, Chris. Bonnie.
I'm grateful for everything we've heard today. Truly powerful.
Really powerful. Thank you so much, Bonnie. Great to see you as always. DJ, good to see you too. It's been a while. Something you're grateful for. Oh, you're very quiet. We can't hear you.
I'm grateful for hope.
One more time, I couldn't hear you.
Can you hear me okay?
Just about.
Right. I'm grateful for hope.
Health.
Hope.
Hope.
Yeah.
Love that. Thank you, DJ. Anna Stone.
I'm grateful for everybody here and for the answers I got today that answered something I've been trying to figure out for many years. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you, Anna. Carl.
Today, I'm grateful for that fresh air I breathe.
Lovely. And it was such a powerful gift you gave us with your channeling. Thank you so much. Great. Syra, great to see you. Something that you're grateful for.
Well, I turned my video off because I was actually eating with all you, because I wanted to imagine that I was at a party with you all. So yeah, I'm grateful for your companionship, company. Yeah.
Likewise, life is a party. Well, have a wonderful rest of the day, and I hope to see you in a couple of weeks. You can stay in touch in the group, or personally, one-to-one message. We're always around, right? Whether it's spiritually or physically or in cyberspace, we're always around. Have a beautiful evening, and love to you all. Thank you for being here. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
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 Bye.